So in the book of Nehemiah, Hanani, Nehemiah's brother, along with men from Judah, they came to Nehemiah and gave him the condition of the wall. And basically the message is, or was, we got to do something. I mean, we have to do something. Because if we don't do something, then the very remnant of the house of Israel will be destroyed. I mean, when you think about this, the people that are now in Jerusalem, they are the remnant. They are those that we would have called, these are the ones that survived. One passage said these are those, the way they wrote it was, these are those who escaped the captivity. Think about that. Having escaped the captivity and having made it through slavery and having been one of the survivors, to get to a place where you, for the most part, would expect to have safety and refuge, you realize when you get there that the walls of the city have been torn down. And the record is we got to do something. We can't, okay, we see the problem, but we have to move. We have to do something. And of course, the something that must be done ultimately is we got to rebuild the wall. We need that wall of protection. We talked about that in the previous video. We need that wall of protection around us to be a buffer and a barrier between that which is on the outside and that which we're trying to protect on the inside. So the concern is for the survivors. And I want to just talk briefly about that in this video, Zayah. Morehyosh Yahu Dawid of the Ark. Ark represents the Awakening Remnant Coalition. And Mori means teacher. If you like these videos, like them, subscribe to the channel, and support the Ark. Your support goes a long ways, and we definitely appreciate it. So the situation that we were facing was that without the walls, or without the wall, then Israel was vulnerable. So we got to do something. We just can't hear about the problem and be like, all right, no, we have to do something. Because the remnant is that promised group. The remnant of Israel is the prophesied people that would come out of Babylon, would come out of captivity, would be in, and I'll get to that in the prayer, would be in their foreign lands when they woke up to truth. And they would be responsible for doing what? They would also see that the walls of the house of Israel have been torn down and they need to be rebuilt. In other words, we gotta do something. I don't believe that Abaya brought us out of these last captivities, even though we're still in the land of our captors. I don't believe he brought us out of captivity for the remnant to die in the land of their captors. I don't see that. No, I believe that this is a time, I should say, not die individual, but be destroyed. No, I believe that having prophecy on our side, we can see the concern of course, Nehemiah. We're going to look at the concern that we ought to have today. We got to do something. Why? Because what is happening now, I know y'all got just roll with the Morehyosh for a second. What's happening now is, to us as the remnant, is worse than what happened to the remnant in Jerusalem. And I'm going to explain that real quick in this video. The reason why the situation that we have is worse than the situation in the day of Nehemiah was because the men in the time of Nehemiah had some great advantages over us when it came to rebuilding the walls. First of all, let's just start with the most basic. First and foremost, they knew of the walls. Boy, there you go. No. They knew of the wall. They knew that Israel had a wall. The men that came out of captivity, some of them were alive when they went into captivity, which means they were taken from Israel because of their sins. We'll get to that later. They were taken into captivity, and they remembered the walls of the city. They remembered the temple. They remembered the worship. They were young, but they still remembered. Some of them understood that. Others knew of the wall because it had been passed down. And of course, with the deterioration of the wall, it is obvious. It has a parallel. Matter of fact, anytime we see the deterioration of the wall of Jerusalem, of the city of Jerusalem, or of the temple of Jerusalem, every time we see that being broken down in Torah, it always is parallel to what's happening in the nation of Israel. So as the people go, so goes the wall. As the people go, so goes the city. As the people go, so goes the temple. Wow, my time is almost up already. So there were some, they had a great advantage because they knew of a wall. The second thing that they knew, without a shadow of a doubt, they knew that they were Israel. And we don't. So the first advantage, they knew about the wall. And we didn't know about the wall. Number two, they knew they were Israelites. And we don't. See, when they came out of captivity, they still knew what tribe they were from. They knew their lineage. They knew their history. They knew that they were Israel. And as a result, they knew that Israel was also in a covenant. And because they knew they were Israel and they knew that they were in a covenant, they knew also that they would need a wall of protection around them if they were going to be able to live according to the covenant that Abaya had given them. So they knew they were Israel. Great advantage over us. Most of us who woke up in the land of our captivities had no idea, no clue who we were or whose we are. They told you were an African, and Africa is a continent. Africa does not necessarily speak of a bloodline or of a tribe or of a people. Africa is a continent. So many of us didn't know who we were or who we are. It's a great disadvantage. I see that my time is up. I'm going to pick this up in the very next video right here, showing the differences between the two and the fact that we got to do something. Zion. We can't just look at the problem. We have to do something.